Various activity can cause climate change in the world. When climate change occurs, temperature can increase dramatically. When the temperature rises, many different changes can occur on Earth. During the past century, human activity have released large amount of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. The gases that influence the atmosphere are water vapor, carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and methane. Most of the gases come from burning fossil fuels to produce energy. Almost 30% of incoming sunlight is reflected into space by bright surfaces like cloud and ice. The other 70% most is absorbed by the land and ocean, and the rest is absorbed by the atmosphere. The absorbed solar energy heats our planet. This absorption and radiation of heat by the atmosphere benefits life on Earth. But nowadays, the atmosphere contains more greenhouse gas molecules, so many of the surface infrared energy is absorbed by the atmosphere. Greenhouse gases are like a blanket around the Earth, trapping energy in the atmosphere and causing it to warm. Greenhouse gases let sunlight pass through the atmosphere. However, they prevent the heat that the sunlight brings from leaving the atmosphere. This is called the greenhouse effects. However, while greenhouse gases build up, climate change harms human health and ecosystem. A warmer climate can bring change that affects our water supplies, agriculture, power and transportation system, the natural environment, and even our health and safety. Climate change has many adverse effects. For example, rising oceans. The ocean soaks up most of the heat from global warming. The rate at which the ocean is warming strongly increased over the past 2 decades across all depths of the oceans. As the ocean warms, its volume increases since water expands as it gets warmer. Melting ice sheets also causes sea levels to rise, threatening coastal and island communities. In addition, the ocean absorbs carbon dioxide, keeping it from the atmosphere. But more carbon dioxide makes the ocean more acidic, which endangers marine life and coral reef. Next consequences is more health risks. Climate change is the single biggest health threat facing humanity. Climate impacts are already harming health through air pollution, disease, extreme weather events, forced displacement, pressure, and mental health, and increased hunger and poor nutrition in places where people cannot grow or find sufficient food. Every year, environmental factors take the life of around 13 million people. Changing weather patterns are expanding disease, and extreme weather even increase deaths and make it difficult for healthcare system to keep up. Next is increased drought. Climate change is changing water availability, making it scarcer in more regions. Global warming exacerbates water shortage in already water-stressed regions and is leading to an increased risk of agricultural drought affecting crops, and ecological drought increase the vulnerability of ecosystem. Drought can also stir destructive sands and dust storms that can move billions of tons of sand across continents. Deserts are expanding, reducing land for growing foods. Many people now face the threat of not having enough water on a regular basis.
Climate change can be solved using engineering. Formula One has announced an ambitious sustainability plan to have a net zero carbon footprint by 2030. The report stated that 45% of the carbon is from the air, sea and road transport required logistically to put on each race, and only 27% from transporting personnel, promoters and partners. As with all major sporting events, this can be reduced but not be eliminated. And F1 have committed to offsetting it with tree planting and carbon capture technology. From next season F1, we introduce the use of 10% sustainable fuel. So next is the carbon capture and storage, or also is known as CCS, is a geoengineering or climate engineering approach that reduces carbon dioxide emissions by capturing carbon dioxide and permanently storing it deep underground. CSS approaches focus on reducing the carbon dioxide emitted by fossil fuel-based energy producers such as coal power plants. The geoengineering process of carbon capture and storage involves of isolating CO2 from fossil fuel power station in pre or post combustion processes. The CO2 is compressed until it forms a liquid, transporting the liquid CO2 often through pipelines and then pumping it deep underground into porous rock layers that can safely hold it for long periods. And the third engineering solution is the blue carbon. Blue carbon is a natural climate solution and climate engineering approach to mitigate and reverse the effects of climate change. Blue carbon ecosystems are coastal and marine photosynthetic ecosystems that can absorb significant amount of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere or environment and store it for a long period. Blue carbon includes salt marshes, seagrass, meadow, mangrove forests, microalgae communities such as kelp forests, and freshwater tidal ecosystems such as coastal, ball compressed floodplain forests. They are vital because they are incredibly productive and can store carbon for thousands of years. Over time, this process causes soil buildup and burying of carbon-containing organic materials. Because the soil are submerged, they are anaerobic and are not subject to periodic fires like terrestrial ecosystems. For non-engineering solution, the main ways to stop climate change are to pressure the government and business to reduce how much people consume. All transport, fashion, food, and other lifestyle choices impact the climate differently. This often by design. Fashion and technology companies, for example, will release far more products than are realistically needed. However, while reducing the consumption of this product might be hard, it is more certainly worth it. Reducing overall consumption in wealthy countries can help put less strain on the planet. Next is to reduce plastic. Plastic is made from oil, and extracting, refining and turning oil into plastic is surprisingly carbon intense. It does not break down quickly in nature, so many plastic are burned, contributing to emission. Demand for plastic is rising so quickly that creating and disposing of plastic will account for 70% of the global carbon budget by 2050. The third one is to improve farming and encourage vegan diet. One of the ways for individuals to help stop climate change is by reducing their meat and dairy consumption or by going fully vegan. Businesses and food retailers can improve farming practices and provide more plant-based products to help people make the shift. And last will be to switch to sustainable transport. Petrol and diesel vehicles, plants and ships use fossil fuel. Reducing car use, switching to electrical vehicle or EV, and minimizing plane travel will help stop climate change and reduce air pollution. So to conclude, we need to take part and try to stop global warming and other effects of climate change. If the Earth temperatures continues to rise in the future, living things on Earth will become extinct due to high temperatures. If humans contribute to controlling global warming, this world will be cooler, and the current high temperature will increase. And if everybody took a stand and tried to end most of the climate change occurring, this world would be a safer place to live on.